The Clovehitch Killer is a 2018 film that I watched for the first time very recently, like in the last week, and this is directed by Duncan Skiles and stars Dylan McDermott, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I missed out on this film when it came out, like I said, but I did hear a lot of people who have talked about it over the years, and it always was a film that was on my list to see, and I like these kind of style films like kind of toned down, slower burn serial killer films, which is more of like character studiness rather than just exploitation and kills and stuff like that. Although those can be fun too in their own merit, these kind of films are a little bit more artsy and intriguing when it comes to the psyche of everything going on with them. And it was an interesting film. It's on Netflix right now. That's where I caught it, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5. And it's wild in the slow burn sense of things. We have this kid who lives in this small community town, very religious upbringing, Catholic school, or I think they're Christian in the movie, but very like Christian school, church going, very religious conservative family, and everything is very heavy in that sense. And he is out with this girl one evening in his dad's truck or whatever, and she finds a picture that's very kinky, and it has this woman with like a ball gag in her mouth, and she looks like she's in pain. I mean, this picture would be disturbing for anybody to see, regardless of the subject matter, because it looks like something snuff-ish kind of thing. And the kid, the guy, the boy, doesn't know like where it came from. He has no idea where this came from, but the girl thinks it's his, and she gets all weirded out and stuff. And then she starts to spread rumors about him and these like he starts to get kind of ostracized and judged and looked for, like down upon and frowned upon in the community. After this, some things start to escalate, and he starts to basically suspect his father of being a serial killer, because 10 years prior there was a serial killer that everybody deems as the Clovehitch Killer, but he was kind of never found, and he stopped killing after a while and disappeared, basically, like he was never heard from again, until some things start to resurface, and this kid starts to suspect his father. He meets this girl who is not in the community at all. She's a rebel, she's an outcast. Nobody takes her seriously because she's in this community that she has no part of and has no interest in being a part of. And this kid befriends her, and them two kind of make this bond where they seek out this kid's father and start to gather more clues and more suspicions and more evidence that leads to the father being this psychopath. And the film kind of gives its reveals right away. Like, it's not really a mystery, even though it kind of tries to be a mystery. A lot of people I heard say that they didn't. They were always going back and forth with whether the father is the killer or not, but things are made pretty damn obvious that it is. And it's more of like getting into the father's head and making like a literal serial killer character study, like you would watch in like a Dahmer film or a Ted Bundy film, where you know the villain, you're just kind of studying the villain in a sense, and that's how I saw this film. It has a little bit of a Quentin Tarantino touch with the film making style, because it does play out of order with certain sequences, and you'll have something happen that will happen mid movie, and then it'll cut back to what led to that and stuff like that. So that goes on. Some people like that style, some people don't. Didn't bother me at all. And I really liked the style of this film, and it pretty much worked for me in all levels. The writing is very interesting. Like, it's written in a sense where it wouldn't work in a lot of films, because what characters say and how characters behave and what characters do and the things that come out of characters' mouths sometimes, and conversations that are had between characters, are so odd to the point where it feels like it could be B-movie level and like not to be taken seriously, like who wrote this kind of thing, but it works here. And I don't exactly know, I can't pinpoint why necessarily. It could just be the religious atmosphere and how this community is so like their whole mentality is like a crowd mentality, like they all think alike kind of thing. It's, I wouldn't go as far as a cult, but they're very niche. They're very like they're a clique kind of thing, and even like family conversations are just weird, and the reactions that the mom has sometimes to things that the kid does is just weird. And there's conversations between the dad and the son, which that is weird and believable because of the father and because you know what kind of character he is. But just there's things about the writing that work, but they work. They wouldn't work anywhere else. They work here because of reasons, and some of those reasons are clear, but some of those reasons are not. This is kind of like a film that is slightly lightning in a bottle that works because it just did kind of thing, and you wouldn't have the same success trying to imitate it or trying to like do it on purpose kind of thing. Some of this I think happened by accident, but also there is shocking moments in the film that took me by surprise, and when they happen, it's like whoa. And again, that's believable because you know, there's people that use things such as religion as masks, and they wear masks through their entire lives, and a lot of people with deep psychological issues, such as this dude, you know, in his home life, he's seemingly an everyday dude, and I'm not saying at all that you know every religious person is hiding behind a mask, and every you know full blown Christian is is hiding something, and a lot of people think that way. I'm not one of them. You know, there is plenty of great people who have strong religious beliefs, but there's a good chunk, a lot of them, of people that have deep psychological issues that hide behind religion and faith and stuff like that. And those people are terrifying because they essentially have two personalities kind of thing. And this film, it makes you feel uncomfortable watching it. It did for me anyway. And it's not a comfortable watch. It's not much of a violent watch. I mean, there's scenes here and there that happen, one closer to the climax of the film that involves the father and this one of his victims. That's disturbing, but the film is just eerie and uncomfortable in more like psychological disturbing uncomfortable ways rather than blood and guts kind of thing. And it was produced really well. You could see that it had some kind of a budget, and all the actors gave it their all. Dylan, I forget how to pronounce his last name now, but he's been in a few films. I've seen him pop up. He was in American Horror Story. That's probably where a lot of people know him from most, especially in the earlier seasons. And he's popped up randomly here and there in certain things, and he's he's an actor that can portray a lot, and when he's asked to portray something villainous or disturbing, he can deliver. He has that caricature, like that persona that he can really dive into a really disturbed person very easily, and he does a good job in this. So the Clovehitch Killer is a very interesting but uncomfortable watch, and it's one that I recommend at least checking out. And it's one to talk about. That's the best thing coming out of this film is that it's definitely one to discuss, and it has a lot of discussion merits to it. So I give it a recommend, and I caught it on Netflix, so hopefully it's still there by the time you're watching this video. If not, go find it somewhere, go buy it. I would buy it. I think Scream Factory put it out, so it's readily available for anybody who wants to check it out, and I say do so. So subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you'd like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.